Hello my dear students, it's nice to be back again. Even today we will be discussing about sociology for class 11, and like we have discussed in our last class, the first unit, that is the sociology as a discipline. We have discussed about what is sociology. Okay, we have also discussed about some of the founding fathers of sociology. Okay, the importance given to sociology because of different factors such as the French Revolution, the industrialization, etc. And also the father of sociology is called as Auguste Comte. Why? Because he coined the term sociology in the year 1839. That is what we have discussed in the last class. And today I would like to discuss about the nature of sociology as a science. Okay, we have different topics, subtopics I should say, which we will be discussing one after the other. So as I discuss with you, I would want you to kindly open your textbooks and refer to it as I explain the different subtopics here. The first one is the nature of sociology as a science. So in order to understand the nature of sociology, we have to know what is a science. So that is the reason why I've written down here, to understand the nature of sociology, we have to know what is a science. So in simple terms, okay, science is a systematic body of verified knowledge about reality obtained by scientific method or observed by our senses. Systematized body of verified knowledge. Okay, so knowledge, okay, or the informations which we collect through scientific method, okay, or observed by our senses. The senses, the sense organs, such as we can see, we can smell, right, we can feel and everything, right. So by observing by our senses or by scientific method. In our last class we have discussed about the scientific method. It can be true, like I have mentioned just now, observation. It can be true by giving them questionnaires, we collect information from the people, right. So in that manner, okay, even for science, okay, they collect informations in that manner by using some scientific method, and this knowledge is verified, it's clear, okay, it's clear, which means there is nothing which is fake, okay, which is duplicate, or the information which we get is valid, okay, it's valid. So in that way, okay, the information which has been collected, and that is verified knowledge, okay, that particular type of information which we collect is called as science, okay, through scientific method. Now there are some essential characteristics, okay, okay, when we discuss about the use of scientific method. Okay, essential characteristics of science, in the use of scientific method. Okay, so when we talk about the scientific method, okay, in order to collect the informations through scientific method, we have certain steps, okay, the first one is empirical observation or collection of information. Okay, so essential characteristics are empirical observation or collection of information from the reality. Okay, of the reality means of how it is. Okay, we cannot alter the informations which we collect. So empirical observation, which means you observe things according to your experience. Okay, for example, the sun rises from the east and it sets in the west, right? So those are the things which we keep on observing. It's not like today it rose from the east and tomorrow it will come from the south. No, it's not like that. But through experience and also through observation, we collect informations accordingly. So in that way, we can now properly say that, okay, the sun rises from the east and it sets in the west. So in that way, we collect information, okay, of the reality as it is, okay, through empirical observation. Okay, the next is organization and interpretation of information which you have collected. Okay, organization means keeping it in a very systematic manner. Okay, and it should be organized in such a way that it will be deliverable to those people who are reading the informations which you have collected. And interpretation of information, it should be made so simple that a layman can also understand the information which you have collected from the field, because there are some very complicated things which we use, right, when we collect the information from the field. But in order to make it very simple for the people, okay, we have to make it very simple for the people interpretation of information. The next is drawing its reliable and verifiable conclusions, which means the information which you have collected should be reliable, means it should be based on truth so that the people can trust the information which you have collected, and verifiable, okay, so that it can draw to some proper conclusions, okay, and it can be tested also, okay, it can be tested. Like I said, if I say that the sun rises from the east, okay, now what happened is that it should be tested. Tomorrow also I will try to see whether the sun will rise from the east or not. So in that way, all the 365 days I will keep on testing, and that is called as verifiable. It should be true, and the truth can be tested, okay. So that is those are some of the steps which we use when we use the term scientific method to collect information here. Now, to sum up the use of scientific method, okay, there are a few things which you have to keep in mind. Empirical, okay, empirical observation, like I've said, observation through our experiences. Theoretical, which means it's like an assumption, which we make, or it's like we always say, right, it's a theory, right? So we make some abstractive imagination about the things that we are going to do, or things that is going to happen. For example, in Nagaland, during this time of pandemic, okay, what happened is that there are so many people who have returned to Nagaland, and now there are so many youths or the young people who have come back, or even the layman would think that, no, how will we get these people employed in our state, right? Because for some few months or even years, these people will not be able to go out. So how do we make them employed? And there might be some crisis in jobs and everything, right? So the people themselves should do something, or even the government should come up with some ideas, right? So those are some of the assumptions. It has not happened, but we know that it's going to happen, right? So that kind of ideas, okay, are called as theoretical. And cumulative. Cumulative means the information which we have collected, okay, adds knowledge to the existing knowledge or the information which we have, okay. For example, we can say that in the month of June, July and August, okay, especially in Kohima, it rains a lot, okay. Even in Dimapur, it's very hot, right? But what happened is that we also have an experience that it's very humid in Dimapur. So we are adding to the knowledge which has already been existing, right? So adding new knowledge to the existing one. So that is called as cumulative. The last one is called as value neutral. Now, as a researcher, okay, when you go and study about a particular society or any kind of thing, you should be value neutral. Means you should not be emotionally attached with those people. If you are emotionally attached with these people, you cannot bring out the real data. You cannot give out the real information. Why? Because every society has its own loopholes, which means there are good things and bad things. You will not be able to write the bad things about that particular society if you have observed anything. And if you are emotionally attached to these people, which means you should not be partial, means biasness. Okay, there should not be any biasness. That is the reason why it says value neutral is also very important here. Now, the next point that I would like to discuss with you is about the natural sciences and the social sciences, and also its differences. Now, the first point is, what is a natural science? Natural science is the study of the natural phenomena or the natural occurrences that happens in the society. For example, the study of volcano or the study of human structure, right? So that is something which is called as the natural phenomena. Okay, volcano is also a natural phenomena, earthquake, etc. Okay, and that is, these natural sciences are also divided into two. The first one is called as the life sciences, which deals with the living organisms, anything that is living. Okay, for example, botany, it studies about the trees, it studies about the plants, etc., which is a living thing, right? And also zoology is another branch under this life science, which studies about the animals, right? So that is called as life science under natural sciences. The other type of natural sciences is, physical science, which deals with the non-living. Okay, non-living means, okay, it studies about the temperature, it studies about the climate change, it studies about the causes of tsunami in that particular area, it studies about the tides, because of during the full moon, why the tides are very high and etc., right? So it deals with the physical sciences, physical sciences, physics, chemistry, everything comes under this. Okay, now let's go to social sciences. Okay, what are those things? Social sciences are those sciences which studies about the society, okay, which studies about the human relationship. Okay, so that is what we study under social sciences. Now, what happened is that, okay, under the social sciences, we also have, it's not just sociology alone. Okay, we also have other sciences as well, such as political science, such as economics, okay, which relates to people, okay, but the perspective is different from sociology. For example, economics deals with the production and distribution of goods and services in the society. Okay, it also talks about the welfare of the people. Okay, and even history talks about the past, and the political science studies about the political system, the politics of a particular region or a particular society. And like we have discussed in the last class, sociology deals with the human behavior, the human interaction, the social realities, the social changes that is taking place in the society. That is the reason why we say that sociology is the science of society, right? It's the study of society. That is what we have learned. Now, let's discuss a little bit about what is the difference between these two, natural sciences and social sciences here, okay? The first is the natural sciences is relatively static and unchangeable, which means, the principles or the laws of natural sciences stays the same for a very long period of time. First law of thermodynamics, first law of Newton, etc., right? So all those things, has not been changed for a very long period of time. But what happened is that in the social sciences, it is dynamic and flexible. It can change. For example, with the change of society, the principles of the society might even change, right? So that is the first difference. One is static, one is flexible, okay? And the second difference is, these natural sciences are truly positivist, okay? Positivist and objective, which means there is no room for biasness, okay? Why? Because they have to study, that particular body, okay, or that particular thing as they are, right? And that is the reason why there is hardly any type of emotional attachment to the topic that they are studying with. But in the field of social sciences, okay, there is high chances that they will give some subjective conclusions where, they might even get emotionally attached, bias and everything, which we have discussed just now. So those are some of the differences, okay, which we find in natural sciences as well as in social sciences. Now, like I have mentioned, okay, sociological perspective, when we discuss about the society, okay, sociology, deals especially with the human interaction, the social realities, the origin of the society, how people coexist with each other. And also there are other social sciences. It is not just sociology, which I mentioned just now, economics, political science, history, right, etc. Now, let's discuss a little bit about the subject matter and the scope of sociology. I repeat again, subject matter or the scope of sociology, okay? Every discipline, I repeat again, every discipline needs a subject matter to be studied. Now, what is this subject matter? Okay, subject matter is a particular area or the topic of study, which means the topic that you have selected to study, okay, or the particular area, that particular territory maybe, okay, or that particular thing, okay, which you have to study, okay, and that is called as the subject matter, okay. For example, the subject matter of sociology is society. Why? Because sociology studies the society only, right? So that is the reason why the topic of study for sociology or the subject matter of sociology is society. Okay, and what happened is that, okay, what is a scope? Scope means the range, okay, the range of extent or aim and purpose, which means the aim, the goal that you have to fulfill. The goal is, you want to do research on that particular thing. So that is called as the scope. Okay, so when we talk about the scope of sociology, okay, we have social organization. Social organization deals with the interdependence of different groups of people. It can be community, okay, or it can be organizations, it can be institutions, okay. There are various groups of people where they interdepend on each other to exist in the society, okay. So that is what we study under this social organization. Social structure is a pattern in which the society is arranged, okay. Pattern, it can be in the form of status, okay. For example, in the Hindu society, caste system plays a very important role in shaping or in making the structure of the society. For example, in the Hindu society, as I am very sure almost all of you will know this, there are 4 divisions: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and the Shudras. And in this way, okay, their social ranking has also been divided. Their status is also divided. Brahmins are at the top, Kshatriyas second, third Vaishyas, and fourth are the Shudras, right? So in this way, okay, the society among the Hindu is structured. The next is the social institutions, okay? Social institutions, what are they, okay? Here, we're talking about some regulations, okay, which is enforced, in the society by some body. It can be norms, okay, or it can be some of the examples are education institutions, okay, and also there are various institutions, okay, which we see, okay, medical institutions and everything, okay. It regulates the behavior of an individual, okay. The next is the culture, okay. The last one is the culture. Culture is the way of life, that is what we can say, right? The totality of behavior of an individual in the society, or the way we live in the society, right? So all those things are the scope of sociology, and it has a lot of impact in the society, okay? When we talk about that, okay, those 4 scope of sociology are very, very important because it deals directly with sociology, okay? And along with that, okay, to conclude with, the 6th point is the different branches of sociology. Sociology also has different branches which has different perspective of study, okay. It has different methods through which it studies the society. For example, industrial sociology, urban sociology, rural sociology, right? So it studies about the rural society in rural sociology. Urban means the urban dwellers, okay, in the urban area. And also the industrial sociology. There are some places in India which has a lot to do with industries, okay, where industry, people involved in industries for their, daily bread, right, to earn their daily bread, I mean. So in that way, okay, there are also different branches of sociology, okay. So with that, I would like to conclude this class, okay, and I want you to kindly go through the topics which we have studied today, okay. Thank you so much.